When you ask a bank how much house you can afford, they'll give you a number. And that number is almost always bigger than what you can actually afford. Not because the bank is careless, but because the bank is answering a completely different question than the one you meant to ask. The gap between those two numbers is where good salaries quietly turn into house poor. By the end of this video, you'll know how to find your real number, the one the bank will never tell you. This isn't financial advice. It's a framework for thinking clearly before the biggest purchase of your life. Here's what most people don't realize. When a lender approves you, they're answering one question. What's the most we can lend you and still be confident you'll pay it back? That's it. It's their risk they're managing, not your lifestyle, not your goals, not your retirement. Their number is a ceiling, the absolute maximum. But people hear it as a target, something to aim for. And once you treat the ceiling as the goal, every other part of your financial life has to squeeze into whatever's left over. The bank also mostly looks at the mortgage payment. But a house doesn't cost a mortgage payment. A house costs a mortgage payment plus a long list of things the bank never has to live with because they're not the ones living there. Quick pause, because this is exactly the kind of thing this channel exists for. Don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. Every week we break down how money actually works. No hype. Okay, let's pull back the curtain on those hidden costs, the ones that turn an affordable payment into a monthly squeeze. First, ongoing ownership costs, property taxes, insurance, and, where it applies, any community or association fees. These often keep rising for as long as you own the home, whether or not your income does. Second, maintenance and repairs. A common rule of thumb is to expect a meaningful slice of the home's value each year, on average, just to keep it standing. Roofs, heating, plumbing, the things that only break when you can least afford it. Renters call the landlord. Owners are the landlord. Third, the costs of simply moving in and moving on, closing costs, moving, furnishing the empty rooms you suddenly need to fill. None of these show up on the price tag. All of them show up in your bank account. So if the bank's number is the wrong number, what's a better one? A more grounded approach flips the question. Instead of what's the most I can borrow, ask, what payment leaves the rest of my life intact? A widely used guardrail is to keep your total housing cost, not just the mortgage, but taxes, insurance, and fees together, to a comfortable share of your take-home pay, leaving real room for everything else. The exact percentage varies by where you live and what you value, but the principle is universal. Your home should have a cap, set by you, well below the bank's ceiling. And crucially, size the payment against your take-home pay, the money that actually lands in your account, not the bigger number on your contract. The bank often thinks in terms of gross income. You live on what's left after everything's taken out. Do that, and the house stops competing with your future. It becomes one line in a balanced life instead of the line that swallows all the others. Now the part almost no one calculates, and it's the most expensive one. Every extra dollar you pour into a bigger house is a dollar that can't go somewhere else. Stretch for the maximum, and the thing you quietly give up is your ability to invest, save, and build wealth outside those four walls. This is opportunity cost, and over decades, it's enormous. Illustratively, the difference between the maximum payment and a comfortable one, invested steadily instead, can grow into a life-changing sum by the time the mortgage is paid off. The oversized house doesn't just cost more monthly. It quietly costs you the wealth that money could have become. And there's a human cost, too. A home you can comfortably afford is a home you can enjoy. A home that maxes you out becomes a source of quiet stress every time something breaks or the world wobbles. The goal was never to own the biggest house you qualify for. It was to own a home that lets you sleep at night. So here's the reframe. The bank's number answers their question. How much can they safely lend? Your number answers yours. How much can you spend and still build the life you actually want? They are almost never the same, and the distance between them is where financial freedom is either protected or quietly given away. Before you fall in love with a listing, do the boring math first. total housing costs against take-home pay with room left to invest. Set your own ceiling, then go shopping under it. Rules, rates, and property costs vary a lot by where you live, so treat this as the map, not the turn-by-turn. A licensed advisor or mortgage professional who knows your situation is worth every penny. If this saved you from a future squeeze, do me a favor. Don't forget to subscribe and give a thumbs up. The free net worth tracker in the description helps you see the full picture before you sign anything. And tell me in the comments, what's the payment that would let you sleep at night no matter what number the bank approves you for? Drop it below. I'll see you in the next one.